Okay, what's up, guys? So, we were just talking, really about what were we talking about? Oh, we were kind of talking about my life and my story. But I want to talk about your story a little bit. But anyway, guys, I got Kenny with me, right? Can we call you Kenny? Kenny 2000. Um,
Just call me Kenny.
okay.
That's totally fine.
So, what's up,
Nice
buddy?
to be here.
Yeah. How
Nice
you?
to be here.
What have you been up to? How you been?
I'm good at the moment. Like feeling kind of sick, but I'm very excited. I'm very excited for this podcast.
Yeah. It's to be me too, to be honest. Just because in terms of podcasts, I've done of my own like two, I think. Yeah. In one with Gretus.
Alright.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah, all right, Gretus. Yeah, yeah, I
yeah,
remember this, but I
shout
think I
out.
only watched
Yeah.
the one with Mars.
Yeah, shout
This
out.
one was
Shout.
great.
So I was on the I was it was on Gretus's channel. That was not on mine. So that's a lot of people maybe
Yeah,
they don't know that, but shout out to Gretus, guys. Um he delivers, in my opinion, he brings like honest information to the table, you know? Um
yeah.
and he's a super cool guy. I definitely check out his channel if you guys aren't aware. I think most people that watch me know him. But yeah. But yeah, man, I'm just as excited for this as you probably are cuz again, like uh in terms of you're probably thinking like, "Oh, I don't have a YouTube channel. I don't have anything." But like, dude, I don't really make podcasts, So kind of both new at this.
Mm,
Mm.
that's good. So we can practice together.
Yeah, exactly. On even grounds. So, what have you been up to though? Mostly. What are you sick about? What do you mean you're sick?
Since a few days, the last days were kind of hard. I don't know. It's I'm feeling a little bit sick, but not so bad. I don't know.
Hmm.
It's it's weird. It's really weird. But I
Like,
will be fine.
you
It's
just
okay.
what? Like you're cold you got a cold or something? Or
A little bit coughing too much,
uh,
something like this,
you
and
gotta take a
feeling
test,
kind
man.
of uh, I don't know, like if it's Corona,
Mm.
but I, I would think like I would give it a try, a test. I would test myself, but
Yeah, I mean, I'm
where
not.
should I get it from?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, Germany's got their shit together as far as as far as I know, with testing.
But
No?
yeah, we are very good at this at the moment, but the mutation of the coronavirus back from Britain was getting over here to my hometown where I'm living right now, but it didn't spread out that much. Like just a few people has this mutation of the coronavirus.
Yeah, and from what I heard, the even though it was a mutation, I think, of course, I have no expertise, in this. I know nothing about this, but from what I heard, especially from like BBC and some of the local credible stations in my area, uh, they're the vaccines are still effective on these so-called strains, mutated strains, um,
Mm,
and as well as the testing. So I think it was a scary thing at first, but I'm pretty sure it's you know not too concerning because all of the everything we prepared for is still valid.
yeah, I think so too.
But you feel good though otherwise. Mentally, good spirits, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
still
I'm
motivated.
feeling I'm feeling I'm feeling great because like this is the the core of this whole thing. Should we talk about
You,
like how we connected to
oh,
each other?
for sure. So yeah, I kind of see where you're going with that. You mean like the core of like our interactions, at the moment.
Yeah,
Which to be honest,
and
we go ahead. So like I don't even know. I'm not really sure how long you have known me through the screen, and then you reached out to me at one point, and then we kind of started talking a
uh,
little bit. Why not? I don't.
first first thing I watched from you was the beginning reaction to Jay Jiggy's song.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
that was the first video I watched, and I really, really reached out fast to you, like
Really.
during your streams
Huh.
and during Instagram and stuff like this.
Uh,
And we started talking to each other, and I told you, and this is like the thing that we want to talk about in this podcast. Sorry,
mhm.
is about rapping.
Yeah.
Is that
No, for
so?
sure.
It
Yeah.
is. Hmm?
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll get there for sure. But like
All right.
you, yeah. No, I love that. I love that you did reach out to me too, because like, I mean, that's one thing I'm kind of seeing now that I'm like trying to enjoy, because I still can answer people. Like I'm not like I don't get crazy amounts of messages, from people. Every now and
Mm,
then people say like, "Hey, nice stuff. Keep going," or they'll ask me some questions and I'll answer, especially on Instagram because it's not. Again, I don't have this huge thing going on. But the people that I have answered and the people that I have connected with, I'm like, man, this is so cool. Like I'm it's weird, right? It's kind of a paradox. Like I kind of like the interactions and like getting to meet just random people and talk about things. But then at the same time, I want my channel to grow, and I know once my channel grows, I won't be able to do that as much. So it's kind of it's
mm,
kind of like a sad irony, no? Um,
yeah.
but nonetheless, I'm glad you did because we did speak a lot of definitely offline. Um, and
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yes, we did.
I I really liked you for a couple of reasons. I already told you, of course, that just for, number one, you're so honest. You're so blatantly honest, and you're so yourself, and that's obvious. You're very very I guess you can say authentic, and that's kind of the first thing that I look for in people. Um,
Mm.
and then second, you said that what the Moss podcast is that because you were talking about my content and then rapping. Okay, so what do you you're talking about like how you started thinking about rapping not for my channel but before, right? And kind of maybe something pushed you to start.
Uh, So the first thing that inspired me of making my own music uh, was Jay Jiggy since I watch his videos like since 2019, and
Hmm.
just started analyzing his reaction videos, and I was like, man, I think I could do that as well. And
Yeah.
I was listening, and then was back then there was the time where I analyzed every single rap song that I listened to.
Yeah.
But back then, rap wasn't the main genre that I listened to. There was so many different things that I listened to, but
Oh, really?
it changed
Like what?
completely.
Sorry, I don't mean to
I'm
interrupt you, but I didn't know that. I'm kind of interested because I
It's
also
okay.
listen to a lot of different music.
Um, the most genres that I listen to besides rap is electronic, so like
Mm.
Goa or house and stuff. So
Okay.
this is yeah, I would say Goa is one of my favorite genres in music besides rap, but rap was always more for me than just music because rap was created by people that had to tell something to the people, had to
Yeah.
deliver their own feelings deep inside of them. And this is I just realized back then that I could do that, and I had this dream coming up, like just sitting in my room writing texts and listening to beats, and but for a long time it went completely down. So I totally like forgot about the whole dream. And then I saw your videos and your podcast with Mars, and was also so inspiring. And um, my friends, so shout out to my friends if they watch. I would spam you with the link today. Um, I've already told them yesterday because I'm so excited. I hope I didn't annoy any one of them. Um, where was I at the? Yeah, and my friends, my two best friends, are a very very big motivation for me to keep going. Um, and to make something out of the rap thing because they always believed in me when I haven't had the energy to believe in myself. So this is very very motivational for me.
Yeah, it's like, but the thing that I'm most well to I'd say a couple things I'm most interested in, but I'd say one, the fact that you said, oh well, I think anyone can do it. And I think you can really take that in a couple different ways, right? Because on the surface, you can say, "Oh no, not everyone can do it." Like you have to be really talented. Um,
Mm,
but in my opinion, at least in my experience with the things that I've done, and I've not rapped before, but the number one thing with anything you do in life is, seriously, it's like you first have to believe that you can do it, and then second, you need to be willing to like really work hard at it to put the work in. I think a lot of people get this wrong, that the people that are really successful, there's some talent there, like natural talent, but so much of it is practice and practice and practice and practice. You know what I mean? Um, and everybody who's been really good at something, one day in their life, there's a point where they've never done it. You know what I mean? Like
mm,
Kollega or Jay Jiggy or whatever, like one time they were not rappers. They were just people, right? And they decided,
mm,
I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And I think that's important. And I'm like, I'm happy you said that. I'm happy you found that too for yourself, because same thing with me, and YouTube and everything. It's like, I'd watch videos and something clicked. I was like, wait, I can make videos. You know what I mean? And then of course
mm,
I started to make them, and they sucked. The quality sucked. I was like nervous to talk. I didn't know what to say. And now I've gotten a little bit better, but I still see that I can get better, and that's the motivation. I mean, did you see? You said you write, right? You write lyrics. Do you see that like you're getting better as you practice? Because for me, when you first start something, progress is like a really cool motivator, because in the beginning, usually you can see, oh, I'm getting better. Oh, look at this. I'm getting results. Oh, look at this. Like, um, how do you go about like getting the motivation from like internal? Because you said you get externally motivated by your friends, which is awesome. I think we should get to that later. That's also a really important thing for anything you do, right? Because you need a support system. As much as people say self-made this, self-made that, it's just not true. Everybody has a team.
mm,
You know what I mean. Everybody has somebody, whether it's you know, a friend or a wife or a husband behind them. You know what I mean, like, or a group of
mm.
friends. It's just not true that people go out on their own and start doing shit. Um, so that's number one. That's really important. But two, what was I saying? That you get this internal motivation, right? Which is hard to find for some people. I mean, what would you call that for yourself? What like internally motivates you? The actual text? Do you see your text
Um,
come out and you're saying, "Wow, these I feel these," or what?
exactly. I was sitting in my room and I was listening to a beat and it it was just an amazing feeling. I sit down and had a sheet of paper in front of me and a pencil, and I was like, okay, listening to the beat, and there are coming lines, there are coming lines, and I just wrote like a complete verse or something, and like or half a sheet of paper in like 10 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and I would say like the rhymes and maybe the all the writing style isn't perfect yet, of course,
Of
because
course not. But
um I
yeah,
I'm just beginning, but the progress that personally motivates me completely by myself is that I'm standing 100% behind these lines that I write right now. uh, the first 2 weeks or something where I just practice, but also like thinking about the best lines that I could possibly write. They were so fucking shit. They were so stupid, and but now at the time when I'm sitting down and I feel the motivation totally overwhelming me, this is so amazing. I have so much energy that I want to put in these texts that I'm writing, and this is my internal motivation for this.
that's yeah, and that's again, that's why I told you I kind of wanted to talk to you, and you were like, oh, why me, blah blah blah. I was like, what, dude? Like, that's there are so many people out there that just maybe it's not their fault, but it's so easy to get into this like into this lane, into this like area of motion. I didn't really say that well, but where you go ahead and you go and try to be something, not because you want it to be it, right? Because like not because you feel it.
Mm,
And I see it. You are just like doing it because you want to be yourself, and you stand behind what you say, and you seem really real, and real authentic. And I don't mean to sound so cliche, like oh you're so real, man. Oh you're so, you know what I mean. But it's true. It's
mm,
like and I feel like that about myself too. Like I've never been the person to like try to be someone else. You know what I mean? Like
mm,
I'm not some super tough, super cool guy. Like I genuinely listened to German rap because it was interesting to me and I saw it as a puzzle that I had to figure out and decode and decipher, and it was just an intellectual journey and a form of entertainment for 6 years before I even thought about making YouTube videos. And um, you know, I saw other people doing it for kind of for attention. You know what I mean? Uh, or
mm.
just to make videos because it captures viewers and does this and that. And I was like, whoa, wait a second. Like I've been doing this alone in my room, like writing down the lyrics and translating them and figuring out what they're talking about because it was fun. You know what I mean? And um, that's kind of been my approach to everything I do in life. Like, does it make me happy and is it fun? If not, um, then es landet im Korb wie Ballonpassagiere. No? And I
Mm.
think I see the same for you. And that's really cool. But like
And another,
go
mm,
ahead. No, no, go.
another motivation that I personally have for myself to write texts is, as I said earlier, rap was always something for people back then when it was created, for people that had to tell something. They
Yeah.
want to deliver their feelings, and this is this is another motivation because like modern day society is, you see more and more people with some big mental health issues these days, and I just want to let them know that they are not alone and things will go on in their life even though they can't see a way through these times. This is another motivation for me at this moment.
Dude, that's to be honest, that's so like the fact, and I think there's a reason for that too. Um because we're kind of living in this generation of influencers and kind of um you know social, not of course I feel like this is like so obvious, but we are the social media generation. We're growing up. Maybe you're a
Mm,
little different because you're a little younger than me, only by like 5 years, I think. But
Mm,
when I was 12, Facebook was the big thing, you know, when I had Facebook. And then Instagram came
mm,
out when I was like, I think I was like 13. I got Instagram. And it slowly became addicting. And it slowly became this thing where people started, you know, sharing their lives. And somewhere along the lines, it turned into this thing where people stopped kind of sharing their lives, but putting this like picture of what a perfect life should look like. You know what I mean? And I really think that is affecting people hard. Um,
of course it is.
you know, like
It's
this mental health thing. That's why I think
everybody. Sorry, I interrupted you. Please
no,
go on.
no. I was just about to finish. I think when you say mental health, and of course that can mean so many things, but what I think you're getting at is at least it's like everybody has this. Everybody thinks that this like you go on Instagram and you see these beautiful women or these really cool guys or whatever having this perfect life, and it's like it's so misleading, especially for younger people, even for myself too. It doesn't, you don't, I guess age doesn't matter, but it's so easy to, to look at it and be like, damn, like my life is shit compared to them. You know what I mean?
Mm,
And that leads you down such a dark path. And it's so important that you said that to say like, hey, like to be honest, these people with the perfect lives on Instagram, man, they're fucked up. Whether you think they are or not, they're fucked up, and so am I, and so are you. Maybe some are more than others, but everybody has a problem in their life. It's just
mm,
you gotta like. I didn't used to think this, but I realized this. The more people you meet and the more people you get to know, like, dude, like everybody knows somebody who maybe they they died or you know depression or bullied or you know what I mean, like you know, not the perfect life. It just doesn't exist. And I think the more people think that it does exist, makes that makes those problems on the other like get even worse. Um,
definitely.
and the fact that you're like, you know, when you send me some of your lines, man, and it's they are so real. And I think it's so important for kids, especially your age, to see that it's like, man, like our lives are fucked up, and that's okay. You know, that's okay.
This is a big part of that. I hope to deliver to some people. Like, it's okay to have these problems, and I also want to motivate them to move on because, like, imagine like the numbers of um, committed suicides since all this, like you said, this big social media upcoming, like the perfect life every famous person is presenting
Yeah.
to the others. This is, I mean, it's just
Yeah.
insane how the numbers went up, and this is, it shouldn't be so high, these numbers. This is, man, I don't know. I could be so angry about this, like for eternity, but I don't think you have this much time.
Oh man, we're gonna talk about whatever you want.
Ah, man,
But I don't
it's
want you to be
fine.
I don't want you to just be angry guy for the next 30 minutes. That's for sure.
No, 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 no. I'm not. I'm not. Um, but uh, speaking about angry, like as I told you earlier, that I don't want to be the person in this whole rap game that is just like the sad guy sitting in his corner and
Hmm.
like telling everybody it's okay and how to move on. I mean, it's important because it's a deep message and this message has to be told. So if there is anyone who is like, thanks, your song helped me through tough times, I would be like, okay, fuck all the rest of the listeners.
Yeah.
This one person, this person got through another day. This is completely worth it. This would be all it needs for me to be happy with this. But as I told you, I don't want to be the just that. I also want to be like there will be songs coming up where a lot of like dissing or
Mm.
all with the anger because I have too much anger inside of me as well, and this needs to get off out of my soul like as well, you know.
Yeah.
And I think I could I don't know like pour my soul, you know,
Almost like
or clean my soul.
cleanse your soul. Yeah, with rapping. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Like it's kind of like your it's self therapy.
because like yeah, it's self therapy, correct, but it's like if you're looking to the other rappers nowadays, like I personally feel like they are misusing rap. You know, like there's so
Yeah.
many like these trap rappers that are all about like flexing and drip and all this stuff.
Yeah.
I think like if these people would have read the same thing back then when web was created, eh, they couldn't made it this far as they can get today. Some of these songs are totally cool because of the vibe and stuff. I don't want to like hate every trap or
Yeah.
new school rapper, but when I'm listening to like persons in German rap like Mero, I feel like he's completely misusing rap. I mean, he can rap. He has the flow and
I
the
think
skills and
I think he's good.
but
I think he's really good. But you're right. The it's the content is like kind of shallow. You know, there's nothing there.
yeah,
He's such a good
it's
rapper, but
it's
there's
like
nothing there. Doesn't talk about anything.
it's like look at like Eminem or some of the big rappers
Right.
also in Germany like Kollega or Kool
Mm-hmm.
Savage and all these big names. Had they had songs where they put their struggle completely in these songs and to tell the people what's up in their lives and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like this. And if they nowadays are like making new school music with like less the message, I would say like it's fine because they have a history that they have created. Like I think like Sido said something like this in one of his songs. Like he's in every part of the whole rap game book of Germany. Like you know he has a history
Mm-hmm.
to show the people, but like people like Mero, they are coming up for like I don't know like how
2 years.
long are they in
Yeah.
German rap scene?
3 years.
2 years,
Yeah.
3 years maybe, and like they have nothing to tell the people that is important, and this is it's making me kind of angry. So I think like they are completely misusing the rap.
Yeah. But what do you think? I mean, what do you think rap should be? Like, I think I kind of. I mean, you said it before. You think it should be a like a form of expression, right? Of your own like life and struggles.
I think personally that rap should always stay a good song that is always kind of um, I don't know the word right now in English.
Say it in German. Say it, it's okay. Say it in German.
Äh, dass es halt auch die Leute reizt, also so that it's making the other people kind of like angry that these problems are being told, you know, that people stand up and are like against the system.
Mm,
Like back in the
mm,
days
mm-hmm.
when rap was created, the black community that rapped was like,
That was
oh man,
it was
that
you're
they are so racist and stuff and
yeah,
fuck the police.
yeah.
So they it was always controversial.
Yep, that's
I don't
correct.
know.
Yeah.
And nowadays it's like I don't know.
Mainstream. Yeah.
It's mainstream. Rap never been mainstream like this nowadays.
Yeah.
Like it is these days, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And this is I don't know. I don't like the fact that is that mainstream. I, as I said, I don't want to hate like every new school rapper. They are very cool new school rapper, but they have always like some kind of history,
Hmm. Yeah.
you know?
No, it's you really you hit the nail on the head there with the controversy and kind of like the origins of rap because it's always been like a form for the misrepresented, right? The ones that really
Mm,
aren't the favorites in society. Let's put it like that. You know, the ones I guess that were not supposed to succeed or have a voice. Um,
mm,
and just kind of to bring a modern example, I think is really cool was this KIZ with Rap über Hass. I think
you mean KIZ,
it
the
was
German rapper?
yeah in Germany, sure, yeah. You say yeah, I was saying it in English. So yeah,
Yeah,
KIZ, yeah,
okay.
exactly. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I had to sneeze. Had to sneeze.
Oh, it's fine.
I turned the mic off because I'm a professional. Um, and yeah, KIZ, right? And they did this Rap über Hass, and they're like kind of playing this again, this like uh bad guys against the government, which
Mm,
it's kind of how rap started. I think that's like how it should be. Kind of just criticizing mainstream, figures and media and being super controversial.
mm.
I think it's so cool. I think that's kind of what rap should be about. And
I think the exact same way.
yeah, and almost like it's yeah, and we kind of spoke about that, didn't we? Because we had spoken about like um writing raps, and even myself, even I've I not too long, but I've considered for some time that I would like to make music, um,
Mm,
and that's not to say that I maybe I do, maybe I don't have a good story to tell. I guess I would rather find out the hard way than not do it at all. But rap is like I think it's a really cool form, and I think that the fact that it's like, really accessible to everyone now, I figured why not? You know, what I mean, why not? Why not try to make a song? And when we were talking about potential ideas and trading ideas, and like I was like reading you these lyrics, we were talking about this kind of like um, these mainstream issues, and one of them being the mental health in America, right? And
mm.
kind of um, I'm hesitant, right, to see how deep I want to go on with what we spoke about, because I had shared some things that were pretty personal to me. Um,
Mm,
but let's just say in America, there are very large, very big companies, right, that prescribe drugs to those with mental health issues, and I'm air quoting issues, right? I'm putting quotations around the issues because I think what's happened over the past couple, I guess, decades, is that these mental health issues have been exaggerated in order to fit a certain template that allows these large pharmaceutical companies to make more and more money. As you know, in America, we're arguably the most capitalistic society. We rely on building businesses and creating the profit and growing it nonstop. And it's like the growth of profit is kind of first. And it's like, well, you know, every year the company has to grow no matter what. And
mm,
there's no other goal. And so when you put that model behind something like mental health in pharmaceuticals, let's say for prescribing kids and young adults um, antidepressants and ADD or ADHD medicine, in order to focus, you now have a really big problem, right? Because you have this model that is so hell bent. I guess we say hell bent on turning a profit every year, you would say hellwach, right? Hellwach, like just no, nothing will stop it. Like it's going full speed, full gas, right ahead with this certain idea. Would you say that? Hellwach?
Uh, hellwach means like to be to stay woke. So
Oh, like okay, never mind. So we say
I, it doesn't matter.
no, it's
I,
okay.
I I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Um, I totally get your point there.
So hell bent on maximizing profits, right? That's just totally what America is about. Uh, Other companies, of course, there are other companies that are doing that, but America is just like the tippy top, the craziest example of we're gonna make the most money this year, and nothing is gonna stop us. And then now you have a really big problem when you mix in, oh, you know, now we're talking about medicine, giving things that literally alter the chemical structure of someone's brain or body in order to quote unquote help them, right? These two
Mm,
things, these two things, I think are um, foundationally incompatible. And so we've seen, of course, you put this on a long term timeline, let's say 30 years. Um, yeah, let's starting in the 90s. You have so many people here that are, everybody has a drug. Everybody's on something, whether it's for their heart, it's for diabetes, it's for, you know what I mean? And now
mm,
it's created this inability for people to to look for an answer where it's not meant to be found, right? Because if you, let's say you're
mm,
depressed, let's say you're really depressed, you're really upset with your life, you think things are not going your way. Of course, it's perfectly reasonable. Everybody gets depressed at some point in their lives. But if you don't look to find the solution in the correct place, let's say you open the door and you say, "Oh, here's the solution. It's going to be in here," but really, you have these companies that are supposed to make money, and they're saying like, "This is going to get you out of this depression as fast as possible," right? And you're going to
mm,
take this medicine. That's door number one. However, we're not going to address why you're depressed. We're just going to kind of talk about it and say, yeah, take this. You're going to feel fine. And then now, door number two is really coming to understand what's wrong with you, and slowly working on all of the things that may contribute to that depression. Your lifestyle, your mindset, your perspective on your life, your self-worth, right? Your self-esteem. What are the things that led to this, and how can you reverse it slowly and create habits in your life that that eliminate the possibility for depression. I totally think it's possible to do this. And of course, you now get to, you border like Buddhism and like mindfulness and meditation, and those things are hard. I think really difficult. Um,
mm.
but if you have a whole culture that's used to getting the fastest solution, I want this solution tonight, today. Don't tell me this plan that's gonna come, you know, in 3 months, how to fix my depression. And so that's like the not. I gotta say, for me, that's like a really. If you ask me what's wrong with a society today, that's kind of be the number one problem. Because you brought up suicide,
Mm,
and
mm,
I wouldn't say I've been personally suicidal. It's something I mentioned. It's something I mentioned to my parents when I was very young, um, and I don't know if I knew what that meant, the gravity of it, but it really freaked out my parents, and you know, one thing led to another, and I think I'm kind of in that situation where I'm a victim of this corporate pharmaceutical factory.
mm,
And I guess I know we've spoken before the podcast about what's off limits, and I guess we kind of connect in that regard, no? And you, of
mm,
course, I'm not gonna, you said that the rap is kind of the way to express your feelings and kind of expose the things that are real in life, and really get across the ideas that matter. Um, and I guess for you, you said you felt so motivated, right, to get those ideas out. So
Yeah,
I guess,
I'm so motivated.
yeah.
You
Tell
you
me.
couldn't guess, man. You couldn't
You can
guess.
tell me.
So I'm going to meet a friend of mine that I hope is watching this podcast
Mm-hmm.
um, the next weekend, and we already told that we are going to like drink 20 liters of energy drinks
Huh.
each to just work completely the whole weekend through
Yeah.
on songs and how to which mics and all beats and stuff, all the things that have to be done for all of this. And this whole rap thing, this is I've never been so motivated in my life for something. And I was always I don't know the word, but foul, no, foul,
Lazy.
you're
Yeah. Lazy.
lazy, you know,
Yeah.
exactly. I was always a lazy guy. If I mean, if I have to do something, I always went like, okay, I'm doing this and this, but not more. You know,
Yeah.
like you can do something, but maybe you can always do more. And I was always this type of guy that was like, I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do and not more
Mm-hmm.
because like, why should I do more in my life?
Yeah.
But then I started writing, and I was like, all right, I want to go all in. I want to go all in. I feel so crazy about all this.
Yeah. But and that's important again because I think some people. That's why I think I think when someone says at least if you call yourself lazy or someone calls you lazy, I think it's really not fair because you are a perfect example of what you're just telling me, and of course you'll have to prove it, and we'll be waiting for your music to come out. But I'm you said you've been thinking about it long enough, and you've been doing it, at least considering it long enough to where it looks like you're gonna see it through. But the term lazy, I think, is I think that lazy, in my opinion, is the same thing as uninspired. Like, if you look at someone who's lazy and they're not doing something, it's because they just haven't been given the opportunity to feel their passion. That's my opinion.
Mm,
I really believe that. Um, if you tell me to do like mathematics and show, you know, how I got to this solution and how I did this and that, I'm gonna be lazy, man. I'm not gonna practice, writing out my numbers and getting better at. I'm gonna be in somebody who teaches mathematics and be like, this guy is lazy. He's a lazy
mm,
mathematician. And like, well, actually, no, I just don't like it. And you say, okay, well, show me how you're not lazy then. And it's like, well, I've made how many videos in a year? You know what I mean? I have trained how many hours for, tennis. And I know a lot of people don't do this, but I play tennis. And these things I enjoy and I'm inspired by these things. And so it's so important. And I hope that like when you go and write your text that you do include that because um, it's important for people to hear when people don't do good in school or their parents or their teachers call them lazy. It's not fair. You know what I mean? I think it's really not fair for kids to hear that or to think that because
this,
it's just you just have not seen your passion yet. You're not lazy. You just haven't been inspired yet, and that's fine. It takes time for some people. Some people get inspired sooner, than others, and that's normal. Right? Right?
yeah, I totally agree at this point. Um, we kind of already talked about this, like the modern society is like pushing you always in the straight way, like going to school,
Mm-hmm.
um, finish as good as possible, like, and
Yeah.
just then go to get a job and
Mm-hmm.
work for your entire life. But
Yep.
I'm thinking like all this the things that the modern day schools want to push inside of the brains of kids
Yeah.
these days, like a 13 or 14-year-old kid. It's like crazy, man. I, I don't think that like 50 years back in time, the school system was like at this bad. And I'm personally thinking like the school should always give the kids the opportunities to um, get inspired and to find like a creative way or something that they really really want to do. Like
100%.
if you're good at if you're good in working with wood or metal and you like to work with these things and like to be a technician or something like this, then okay, the school should give you the opportunity to practice and to become better at this. If
Mm-hmm.
you're interested in music, okay, the school should maybe give you more possibilities to get better at making music. So
Mm-hmm.
like I think schools should always support their students much more in the things that they would like to do later and not to give them so much unnecessary information that they will forget like 10 months after they got out of school,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, yeah, and like that's a problem we're seeing now just because in the last 30 years society has really changed, especially because of the internet, really, and technology
Mm,
and the way everything is all revolving around the internet and computers. And so the school system, at least in America, is based on, and it hasn't been updated. Like there are some schools in America I know, especially like private ones that you have to pay a lot to go to, but they're very into this type of creative freedom. But the vast majority, I would say over 80%, 90% of them are still built on this model, right? That you know,
mm,
you go, you're introduced you're introduced to, science, English or whatever, English literature or literature, German literature, whatever is your country's language, math and then a foreign language and, all these different things. But then that's great, right? At first, that's great. You do get introduced to these things. At least in America, you do. But it doesn't matter because what it comes down to is your test scores, right? You have to have these good test scores, and all the tests are about math, English, or whatever literature, right?
mm.
Like reading and writing. Let's say like that, reading and writing, and a little bit of science, right? And it's not always about, um, like you said, pushing them in one direction or the other. It's like you just stay in this one broad, boring path. And yeah, I think it needs an update. Definitely needs an update.
Yeah. And it's so hard to break out of this cage. Like
Yes, because
I'm
socially,
literally
uh,
I'm experiencing it by myself at the time. Like I always want to write and work on the musician, like a musician career that I
hmm
want to build up, but always having in my mind like, you have to go to sleep then because otherwise you can't wake up then, and you will miss this and this and this and this, and if you miss all this, like the whole life is going to be messed up completely.
yeah. I
You know
mean,
what I mean? Like
so
I would love to spend more energy on things that I love and things that I really like and have the energy for it, but
so
I can't because the social the society life that they are trying to put us in our brain is just it's very very hard to get like in the middle of it for
well,
myself,
well,
and
so
I think many others do experience the same things.
Yeah, so I agree. But I mean, lucky for you, you're still really young. And
Mm,
so you've not really been pushed into, I think, far enough into like, I don't know, a company or a job, right? I mean, not yet. And I've certainly avoided that for as long as I can. I currently personally I work for myself, um,
mm,
because I wanted to make sure that I did have time on the side to really develop, my passions and do things that on my own and kind of do my own, creative projects. And um, this, of course, I think this is, I think, a really good point, um, especially for the younger listeners and for you as well. Is like, you know, you have to be able to balance the fact that you do have to make money and you do have to feed yourself, but never,
mm,
always take, at least for me, take a little less money if that means you have a little bit more freedom to work on the things that you love. Like,
mm,
you know what I mean? You have to do that. Like if you were gonna drive a Volkswagen and have more hours on the weekends or in the nights to work on being a musician, as opposed to taking a Mercedes and now you have to work more and you don't have time to be, the person that you want to be because you're working so hard to make
mm,
X amount of money, all this money. You don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't think that
mm,
that's the right thing to do. Like it's just not. You know what I mean? Like I am 1,000%, and I'm almost like a hippie. I'm almost like a rah rah rah, like a Buddhist when it comes to this. But like I think like number one, you have to work on yourself and developing your own personal, like, competencies, whether they be creative or they be, emotional control or the ability to think in a clear way that's like true to yourself, and it's not making decisions based off of what you think will be approved by the others that are around you, right? Kind of
mm,
staying inside this box. That's number one for me, and I always try to have that be the first thing about like who I am as a person. And I always have been like that, really, since from a young age. I've never wanted to be uh, making decisions or thinking or being or looking like the big group of people at school, um, in order to be accepted. I always thought that was just limiting, really limited experience. And then number two, of course, then there's money, right? You have to make money in life. It's how we are, whether you agree with it or not. Whether you agree with how governments and banks structure our economy and society. I don't agree with it. I think it's a form of control, but it's also a form of order, right? It keeps society together.
mm,
Whether you like it or not, society is built on ideas or stories. The story that, we have to buy into money, and that's gonna be the way to, navigate through society. Everybody agrees on money, and that it works right now. Um,
mm,
Now the people who control it, the people who are like behind it, I think they use that idea, that they use the fact that everybody agrees on it, and they take advantage of it. Um, and so that's something I think it's worth being aware of. I don't think it's something to fear or come out with these like crazy conspiracy theories and be like a crazy person. But it's it's worth it to be aware of that money
yeah,
works in a lot of different ways. But the key thing here is that, you know you you be yourself, right? Like don't think that if you make a decision to say I want to be a musician, I want to be a rapper, like you 100% are going to be, I think you're going to be a happier person if you decide to be a rapper, and then let's say in 5 years it doesn't work, and it doesn't work out. And I don't think you should think like that. Like you should be afraid of that. I think you should be able to say like, dude, like I tried to be a rapper once. I have this experience and it was so cool. I learned a lot about myself and now I'm doing this. And they're like, "Oh wow, like I'm doing the same we have the same job, you and me, Kenny, we have the same job, but I never tried to be a rapper." Dude, what made you want to be like that? Right off the bat, you already have more experience than this person. Not because, you know what I mean? Not, just because you have this curiosity, which
Mm.
a lot of people avoid because they're afraid that, people are gonna judge you. And I think you got to get over that, definitely. Um,
Yeah, of course, and that's the point where what I'm so happy about is that I'm like saying at the time that writing my texts, I'm totally 100% behind them,
yeah.
and I'm completely feeling them, and this, man, I don't know. I have, I think it is definitely worth giving it a try and constantly working on it and progress. And honestly, I would rather touch like 10 hearts than 1,000 ears. So I don't know. It will, I think it can, I think it would work. I think so.
Well, it will work but the only way, like if you were to say, um, you know, if you were to write it down, if you say how to be a rapper, here's my 2 year plan. You need to be you need to write rule number 1 is be honest and be yourself. And then,
Mm,
you know, rule number 2 needs to be like, um, keep getting better, and that's it. Like,
mm.
and don't give up. It sounds so stupid, right? It sounds like, who is this? Who is this guy thinking?
Don't sound
Yeah,
stupid,
this
man.
blah 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 blah. But like, you gotta do what you want
You
to
have,
do. You gotta be happy, man. I think that so many people trade happiness for things that that are just not tangible. Of course, happiness is intangible, but I mean, like, um, they trade happiness for um ideas that aren't even their own, like a high paying job, a super hot wife, a super cool car. You know what I mean? And
mm,
these things do just they lead you nowhere. And I'm not that person that has done that. I can't say like, yeah, I had a hot wife, my Lamborghini, and you know what? It didn't bring me happiness. But I hear and I see I've already seen it. I've already experimented with that type of idea, that type of motivation. It's so, if you're careful, if you're looking inward enough, and I think that's important. People need to look inside themselves, inside their hearts, um, to see what's actually changing, what's actually going on, um, to see where it's going. It's very easy to see that there's certain different motivations that are a dead end.
mm. Oh man, it's this talk could go on forever, I feel.
Yeah, dude, we just started. Let's like
I
don't think
just
don't think you have to limit. Um,
okay.
like what do you? I mean, in terms of um what you've written already, I guess like what do you think? Is there a goal at least? Is there a goal? Is there
Man,
there's no goal right now, is there? I mean, to be.
that
Go ahead.
the first goal is like to clean or to solve the problems in the past that I've had,
Mm,
and um, this is the first goal definitely because I think I just can't go on with all that in my backpack. Like these problems are still too heavy, and these have to be solved for first, and then I can go on with different stuff.
mm-hmm.
Then this second goal. actually didn't thought about the second or third goal yet because I just want to do it step by step. So um, I don't have to like simultaneously have to do this and this and this and this because I think then it would be too much for me.
No, no, yeah, don't do that. I wouldn't write a list. Don't write lists. Right, not yet.
Mm,
I think you need to be, yeah, you need to find like what you like first, instead of like,
mm.
yeah, yeah. No, go ahead. You're totally right.
That would be like it. This was just the only thing that I wanted to say about this right now.
But I want to highlight the fact that you said your number one goal is to like cleanse yourself, right?
Mm,
And right now, um, right, it's very easy to see, well, maybe let's say some other kids are listening, someone else is listening to this and they're like, "Damn, like he's right, Um, maybe I need to cleanse myself." And they're like, "But, you know, I don't think that has to be done through rapping per se. I think rapping is like just kind of a popular form at the moment. I think it's a cool one. Um, but right, there are different ways to do that. I
of
think
course.
the main thing is that you're doing it for yourself, right? You're not saying, dude, I want to come out and be the sickest, illest rapper, and I want to make tons of money and show everybody that I'm the best. I think
It,
I think it's so important that you said that your number one goal is like want to get your heart and your head on straight.
mm, I think that, as you said, there are more ways than just like rap. Some people might clear or solve their problems that they have through maybe sports.
Yeah,
Maybe they can release all the energy that stacked on that have been stacked or the problems that haven't been solved maybe through sports or maybe art like painting. Maybe this helps someone as well.
yeah,
But as we said earlier, it is so hard to find like this thing that is really the thing that you want to do. Like
yeah, and
it's
that's why.
so hard to find a way to find out what the one thing that you want to do with all this energy is what it is, you know?
Yeah,
Like if I wish, like you said, I'm younger than you and I'm starting like a little bit earlier than you.
yeah,
And of course you're right, but I wish I would have started way more earlier than
dude,
just like 20, you know?
dude, you.
If I would imagine like if I'm starting at the age of 16 or 15,
It doesn't
I would
matter,
have
man.
been gone way more far than now.
Yeah, of course. I think the same. I look at my YouTube channel in the same way, man. I'm like Jesus, you know what I mean? Like I started this channel, I was 20, well, it's only been a year. So I just turned 24 when I started my channel.
Mm,
And I think I look back and I look at all of the other people that are doing the same thing and I'm like, dude, if I just started 3 years earlier, 4 years before. But every time I do that, every time I think back like that and I say, "Damn, I wish I started," but it's boom, I'm not there. I'm not focused. I'm not thinking about the future.
mm,
You cannot get caught up on that. And I think a lot of people do. You say, "Well, man, I'm 25 or I'm 30, you know? I should have started soon. I already missed it." It's like it, you know, that alone, man, it kills, you know, dreams, really. Like the best advantage is to be start early, but the second advantage is to have the ability to say I'm going to start now. You can't
mm.
you can't get distracted like that, and so easily. I do fall into that trap, And I'm aware of it so I could get out of it, but I definitely fall into that. I was like, I look at other people's channels and I'm like, man, like they started 3 years earlier than me. They're so much bigger. They have this audience, because they got the time. But boom, right off the bat, I'm already looking at someone else's channel. I'm comparing myself, and that's not healthy. And that's where it brings us back
Mm,
full circle, right, to this mental health thing. Like the more you compare yourself to others, you're gonna be unhappy. And I think what's cool about what you're doing with your rapping or whatever your writing is you're 110% right focused only on yourself. And I don't think
mm.
people don't do it. People don't focus on themselves. People don't try to improve themselves enough or look inside and say, how can I become better? Um, that is,
This is so
it's,
important.
it's
So important.
so important.
Otherwise, you couldn't grow.
No, you'll not get better that way. If you chase the trends, if you chase, you know, the group of people that you see cool and you think like, oh, I gotta be like that. I gotta be like this. If you do that, think about
Mm,
that. If you try to be like that all the time, and then and then you're 35, you're 40 years old, and you're like, dude, for 20 years, I never once looked at who I was and tried to change. That's probably my greatest fear in life. That's my greatest fear. Like, you know what
mm.
I mean? Like going through life and not getting better and not improving. Um, it's
I definitely understand you at this point.
yeah.
Um,
And I think
oh man.
but I want to highlight the fact that you're doing that with rap, and it doesn't have to be. We're not right. Like you and me, we're not here to say like you got to become a rapper to figure out who you are and fix your life. Not at all. That's probably one thing out of 1,000. Um,
Mm,
I gotta say, I would say that I've told you professionally. It's obvious that my YouTube channel is too small to make me money, right? So it's like a lot of people have asked me, "Oh, well, what do you do? What do you do for a living? Is that too
ooh,
private?" Oh, you okay?
I'm okay.
Um, People have asked me that. You know, it's so annoying that squeak. Sorry. What I do for a living, and the short answer is that I'm a tennis professional. I teach tennis to others. I teach tennis. People pay me to teach tennis, and I can make a pretty good living like that. Um, and that's a really cool thing for me. I really enjoy it, and I'm happy to do it. But what it started with me being completely obsessed and fascinated with becoming better in a sport, because you had mentioned, it doesn't have to be rap. It could be painting or art or sports. I think these are really good ways to find it. And I think one of the coolest things, at least for me in tennis, I played in college. I played college tennis, and I was never the best player. I was never the craziest player, but of course, I tried to be. I tried to be, and the most valuable thing for me was to train and practice for hours and hours and then go and play against somebody in front of other people. So let's say 20, 30 people are watching me play one other guy. It's just me alone against another guy. And then I lose. And so immediately it's they're the guy who's won, who's better than me at this time, and here's me, the loser, right? And so
Mm,
at a young age, I realized how to be a loser. Like, and there's the only way to do it was to go and do it. Like, I can't tell you how many times as a younger kid, like in my like teens, as like 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, when I would
mm,
cry because I was so embarrassed because I felt like I sucked. I was the worst. And I was like, why am I playing tennis? This kid, he's my age and he even younger, and he destroyed me, and I look so stupid out there. But the one thing that wasn't it, what I mean? Of course I always wanted to win, but the most motivating thing for me in tennis, at least, was I wanted to get better every single day. Get better, get better, get better. And that brought me a lot of satisfaction. And now I've I've I look at the times I've lost matches and I think like, wow, like I could destroy the older me and the guys that destroyed the older me because
And
I was focused on getting better. And that is all that matters in life. You have to, you know what I mean? Um, Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
um, this is one thing that I also wanted to say. Like you have like things like you just did. You're reflecting and
Mm-hmm.
telling like, oh man, okay, I maybe wasn't that bad, but I made progress in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I proceed. I got better, and now I'm standing here, and I can say like I I reached something with my with your passion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you were so passionate with tennis, and now you're teaching it. Like, did you have like imagined that this would be
No.
possible one day?
As 12, 13, no. I was never good enough. You know what I mean? I wasn't good enough then.
Mm,
I was like I'm not a good player. How could I ever teach? But now I mean, when I tell you like it's the only thing that I focused on, like it's the only thing I focused on. It was tennis and then
mm,
German rap. It's so weird, right? But it's like but the reasons too, it's the same thing I like tennis. The same thing I like from tennis is that it's such a really deep sport that there's so many things you need to learn about like, you know, there in tennis there's like six shots, right? There's like you have your
mm,
serve, your forehand, backhand, and then volleys again, forehand, backhand volley, and then you have like the different spins and to master all of these, and I can say now I can hit all of the shots, all of the spins whenever I want and put them wherever I want. And but I can't still there are people who can do them better than me. And I've been practicing for 15 years. You know what I mean? There are still people who can do it
mm,
better than me and that's so cool. That's so cool and um I see that with German, you know, like learning German. Like I can learn a new word every day in German for the rest of my life and still die somebody who is a student. And
mm,
those things, I mean, you gotta be obsessed with that. I think, and I think everybody has the opportunity to. You just gotta find what you like.
mm,
You know what I mean? Like you gotta find what you like. I love learning German, dude. I've been doing it for a while, and I think it's cool on the surface, but also it's challenging and I feel like it's made me smarter like in other aspects, but it's like it's just like I love to see the progress. And that's what life
uh,
is about, right? That's all we want.
mm,
We want to get better each day. I think um whether you realize it or not, I think some people don't realize it, but I think as humans, you know, it's like what is the purpose of life? And honestly, I think just to spend each day and try to get better and better each day. Of course it's not perfect. There are days where I'm like I'm lazy lazy shit and I don't want to do anything, you know? I feel a little depressed.
mm,
I don't go and I don't even, you know, I sit around and I'm like, wow, I watched Netflix, I played some video games. I didn't get better today. Um and that happens and it's okay, you know, but you got to think like how can I not let that happen? You know, what if I'm doing those things, um you know, it's maybe because I haven't found the thing that I really like. I'm sorry, dude. I've been talking way too much. We kind of got to a topic that I really like. Um,
yeah,
I'm sorry, man.
it's totally fine.
Yeah.
It's totally fine. Um, I'm honestly like thinking about like which topic could we talk next, or is there even like something that we could talk about?
I mean,
Because like we talked about like dreams and what the motivation is, and moving on the modern day. I think like we touched many topics today.
Well, don't think, don't look at this as like there has to be a limit. You know what I mean?
Mm,
I mean, look, like you said, you'd rather touch 10 hearts than, what'd you say, 1,000 years or 10,000 years. Um,
mm,
I'm a big fan of a lot of podcasts. I listen to a lot of different podcasts. And some of the podcasts I listen to, they talk for 3 hours about all the stuff. You know what I mean? And like, of course, there are people that are not going to listen to 3 hours of us talking, but also there are people that will.
mm.
So for those, for those people that will, like, why not? And also, let's also say let's take that example of the progress. Let's say right now, you and me, um, we're not having the best conversation because maybe we're not focused because we don't do podcasts that much. But let's say in a year we've done a couple of podcasts and we've gotten practice, and so the people that find me and you in a year, they're gonna like us because what they see in front of us, but we're just practicing, dude. And then, like, to be honest, if people want to listen, they can listen. If they don't want to listen, they don't have to listen. So I think don't worry about that too much.
Yeah, it's um kind of difficult because like it's my first podcast. You didn't uh, make so much podcasts. Of course, I would love to connect to you more times and maybe do some more podcasts and always like tell the people how we progressed and what's up. Like, I would really like to.
Hmm.
This would be so amazing. Um, we could. I was like, what could we possibly talk about? I don't know.
Hey man,
Do you have?
just be, just anything. Like, what's been on your mind the past month?
The past month? Uh, like the most important thing for me the last few weeks or month is like how to get everything started. I mean,
Hmm.
the only thing that I can make at the moment, because also of the damn coronavirus, is
Yeah.
sitting in my room and writing. But I would love to make so much more. I would like to like build some kind of like corner where I can stay and rap and making beats with my friends,
Hmm.
practice and practice and practice. And yesterday I just saw like a bank in in my area here in northern Germany has an I don't know the word, aber Gewinnspiel. So
Lottery. Yeah.
you can win something. And they had like a pair of music boxes for they are worth around like 1,500 euros.
Oh shit.
This is a lot of money. And I
Speakers.
actually applied. Speaking a
Oh, okay.
speaker, right? And I actually applied to that because I think like, okay, these are expensive speakers, but if I could sell them like
Mm.
1,500 euros,
Oh, smart
I
guy.
could buy like a mic. I could buy like microphones
Yeah.
or different programs or cameras to make videos and um, so to make my own music videos and stuff like this. So I would like all the money that I could like when I could say sell this speakers. I would take all the money and just put it inside my dream
Hmm.
because financials are not that good at the moment.
Yeah, sure.
But
Well,
I,
I think,
I need to get started somehow, and I
yeah,
think like 1,500 euros would be a good start for this.
I think so too. And I don't really know how, like, it goes with, like, making music, like what you need, to be honest.
First of all, like um you need like programs where you can make your beats. Like they always have some kind of samples with like bass and hi-hats and
Mm,
drums and maybe something melodic like a piano in the background or something like this. But I personally, I would love to practice with these programs as well, but I don't have the knowledge of all of this because like if you open a program like this and you're like seeing it, and I've tried in the past, I really tried in the past, but I'm like language isn't German, but how is this so Chinese to me? You know,
yeah,
like
yeah. It's
it
hard.
appears to be a complete different language for me, and
Hmm.
I'm just sitting there in front and think like I can't do that. I just can't.
Well,
And
that's
I'm
fine.
very thankful. Hmm?
That's
What
fine
do you
though.
want to say?
No, I was gonna say like they have free beats. You know, you just get beats from YouTube.
Yeah, and I'm currently listening to these beats and get some part of inspiration and thinking in my brain like how I could rap them, my texts,
Hmm.
and it works out. But of course, like I have a good friend um, that has a program where we could do beats, and um, this is for the like for the beginning. It's a great opportunity
Hmm.
to try that out. But still, then there will have to be like camera setting and uh,
Mm.
requisiten. What is the word of requisiten in English? I don't know.
Requisites. Yeah,
Um,
requisites. Like requirements.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, exactly, like this.
so
So
you should, dude. You should. Even though I just told you not to make a list, but you should make a list of everything you think you need, and then you need to say, I think like, what can I do now, and then what are the things that I could save up for, and how can I get started quick, like as fast as possible? Because like I feel like you have a phone, so I think the most important thing is that you're just you're practicing and you're doing it, this and that, um, and you just want to be able to be honest. Once you get your stuff together, like once you get a song, like you gotta write it and just record yourself rapping. I actually follow a guy on TikTok, and he raps into his phone, and he's so good. And there's no mic. There's just like a beat in the back, you know what I mean? But there's no studio quality, um, because he's good, and that's all that kind of counts. So I think you need to be like focused on that first and foremost, and then look at Of course, you need this equipment. You do. Eventually, you'll need it, but you need to think about like, um, yeah, later. At least don't think that you can't do it now. I think without that stuff, you know what I mean. Like
mm,
if you have to use your phone, just the phone speakers and music in the background, fine. Like fine. Like I said,
yeah,
you're young and you have
it's
time. Don't think that you're limited. You have so much time, dude.
but yeah, you're right. But there are so many questions. Exactly, like when it comes to like a professional microphone. Like I have I read so many informations on the internet about different kind of microphones. Like not every microphone records like your voice as you like kind of like want it to be. Like everything is different, and maybe you can with a program or something like fix the vocals like a little bit so that maybe like I don't know, like a 50 euro microphone can sound like a 150 euro microphone.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, like as I told you in one of our private talks, like I'm I'm a person that is like that. We are back at the point like comparing yourself
Mm-hmm.
to others, where I'm just like I have to prove myself because the competition in rap in America or in Germany is so huge. It's like we have more rappers over the whole world combined as like sand at our oceans,
Yeah, yeah,
at our beaches.
yeah,
This is, and I think like I have to prove myself. But you're right. This is, as we said, like this shouldn't be the way to go. And I'm still working on that. But
yeah.
it's hard, man.
Of
It's hard.
course. And again, I remember when I was 20, same thing, dude. That's like you wake up every day and you compare yourself to everyone. It's you, and people do it. Everybody does it at all ages. You just got to practice not doing it. And I can't say that I don't. Of course, I compare myself to people. But you gotta you just gotta work at it and get good at um, focusing when it's time to focus on yourself, which it sounds like you are.
Yeah, I'm trying. I mean,
That's all that matters, dude. You just gotta try it. Don't put pressure on yourself. Just try it. Just do it. And then
uh,
with rapping, same thing, dude. Just do it, man. Nobody was a good rapper
mm,
until they tried it. Like you don't know. And if you're not a good rapper, like who cares? To be honest, you could be a bad rapper and still get enjoyment from it. And there are so many people that are into rap now. I feel like there are already so many bad rappers, and I'm not saying you're gonna suck. There are already so many rappers that like they have their own they have their fan base. Some smaller than others, but everybody gets a fan base. Like I feel like there's like you alone, like I said, like you told me your story. We don't have to get into it, but you alone, dude, you have so much stuff to talk about that I feel like you're already the type of guy that with your past you have so many people that are going to connect with that. There's so many people with a similar past that are just afraid to go out and try to tell their story and that are not motivated. And I think personally that's like your advantage because you are so real and you really have something to talk about. Um, and that gives you such a leg up on the competition. So um, but still, you overthink. That's too much thinking, right? Like you need to practice. I'm telling you, you have a good story to tell, but you need to just go and do it.
yeah. I'm also like every time I write like one line, I'm always sending this line to my friends and like, what do you think about this? Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh man, always I'm saying telling them always to tell the truth
Mm.
because otherwise I couldn't grow.
No, of course.
Like
Yeah, you need a feedback
they
loop.
need to tell they need I need their real truth respond to that. When I'm sending you a line or something, I just want to be I just want you to be honest to me, and otherwise it wouldn't work out like the way it should. And but at the same time, I'm thinking I don't need somebody to tell me that this line is good as long as I feel this line and I'm totally behind this line 110%.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. No, without a doubt. Um, but but let's say like, it's not black and white, right? There's no true perfect verse where you feel it 100% and you're like, ah, fuck what everybody thinks. Well, that's great. If you want to be a rapper and you like your lines, but no one else does, you're really not you know what I mean? Like you got to find the balance. And I think that's great that you have a feedback loop. But there's I think yeah, you do have to find that balance between what you feel, what's authentic, but also what fits, right? What fits on the beat, what sounds good, and how do people connect. And I think
Hmm.
you have the right mindset at the moment.
What could you repeat that?
I said you have the right mindset. You're in the right frame of mind. I think
Okay,
you're going
okay,
down the proper path. You have a friend
okay.
group.
Sorry.
You have supportive friends that sound like they're honest, which is good. And then of course,
Hmm.
you can always send things to me, you know. And as long as you don't get, I think what happens too when you see a lot of rappers, they start to go a certain way. They get the guys that aren't honest with them. They get the guys that are hanging around them, and they just say everything is cool, everything is awesome. Oh yeah, great line, great line, great line. You know what I mean? But like in reality, it would be so much better if they said like, hey man, like, oh I see where you're going with this, but it could be better if you do this. Did you think about this? And they say, oh no, not really. Let's try it like this. And they say, oh, that one sounds good. You know what I mean? Like that's how you're gonna grow. And I would always do that. If you send me something, I would always tell you if I didn't like it.
That's great because it's the only right way. This is so important. Like, but of course, I always like want to hear from my friends like, oh, this sounds good. Like, because otherwise I would think like, this won't work out. But ah, I'm working on it. I'm
Hmm.
constantly working.
Yeah. Well, listen, Kenny, we're at an hour and a half, and like I said, I don't think there should be a limit to a podcast. But for me personally, um, I just woke up and came right onto this, so I'm starting to get really hungry, and then it's almost 10, so I gonna get started with my day. But
Mm,
for the most part, I think we touched on a lot of different topics that I think there are gonna be some people out there that are gonna like to listen, and I'm I'm really happy to have had you on and like let you kind of talk about yourself because like I said,
I'm really
you're honest,
I'm
man.
really happy that you invited me.
Nah, dude, it's nothing. Like I said, you're real, man. You're honest, and I appreciate that. That's really all I care about is like you seem to be really yourself, and that's I can respect someone for that.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thank you a
of,
lot
of
for this
course, man.
opportunity.
And we'll be in touch. And I'll probably send this to you before I put it up.
Mm.
But for the most part, I'm not gonna edit anything. I'm just gonna. I don't think editing podcasts is the right way to do it because it's not.
Nah,
Yeah, it's got to be real. It's got to be the whole thing captured. But
definitely.
I'm excited though.
Totally agree.
I'm excited, dude, because we said a lot of things. I'm gonna chop up though some like little clips, maybe like 5 minute, 6 minute clips, because I think we said some cool things that could be
Mm.
broken down into little mini clips that people could, that could reach people. Um, but I enjoy this, dude. We definitely got to do it again. Definitely got to do it again.
I would I would definitely get on another podcast with you.
Mm.
Definitely, there would be no second thoughts.
But let's say maybe next time it's in Philly, and you come to my little home studio.
Oh man, I would love to. I would love
Ho-
to so much. Hopefully, coronavirus gets kind of, I don't know, like killed because of the vaccines or something like this.
But I gotta say, look, if you want to come here, I think the only way it would be worth it if you come to my home studio. Again, I'm quoting it. Uh, this little corner in my living room. The only way,
Mm.
and let's hope maybe by the time that maybe you do come here, maybe I have a little better studio. But if you do come, I challenge you. I say the only way I'll let you here is if you have an EP
Oh,
on Spotify.
oh,
Four
okay,
four
okay.
songs, 5 songs. That's it. Just 5 songs.
4 or 5 songs, a little EP, like okay.
Actually, something where
Ooh,
you can sit down and we can say, hey man, the last time we did this podcast, you were just getting started, and then you would
mm,
and then maybe my channel will grow a little bit, and I'll say, hey man, welcome back. Excited to promote and announce your most recent project that's been finished. Everybody go listen, blah 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 blah. That that would be some. I would really be excited about that. And of course, if you would be so kind to allow maybe a feature here or there with little old
mm.
Jaegertier, even more so the motivation to make it a second podcast in person. I think I could really look forward to that.
So you can definitely, I okay. EP, 5 or 4 songs released on YouTube with video and on Spotify.
Hmm.
Um, challenge accepted.
That's what I like to hear, man.
Challenge accepted. I'm going to do it Oh man,
Yeah, that's what I like to hear, dude. I
there's
wanna,
another goal.
and you know what? Now people are gonna hear this, so uh, you
I
gotta.
hope, man.
That means now you got a little bit more, a little bit more expectation. Which, to be honest, I think it's healthy. It's good for you.
Mm,
It's good for you, and I'm pretty sure you could do it because you know, you sent me your text, and I liked it, and again, I like how you, I like where your mind is. It's so important.
thank you.
Yeah, man.
Thank you so much.
But we'll chat a little bit. I'll text you in a little bit. I just gotta, I seriously gotta go eat and,
Okay.
you know, get a couple other things done. But dude, again, thanks a lot, dude. Thank you, man. And we're gonna do this again. Don't worry. Hopefully in
Definitely.
improved circumstances with higher stakes.
Mm,
And yeah, dude. I hope you have the awesome Sunday and keep going, dude.
hope.
You know, keep writing.
I wish you.
Keep
I
writing.
wish you too. Happy
Yeah.
Sunday.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, dude.
See you.
Take care, buddy. I'll talk to you.
Bye.
Bye.